The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everybody, and warm welcome to today's viewing of the Revision Manager. Before we start up, we're gonna do a few tests. Does everybody see the screen? I have the Symmetry logo on my screen. And do you hear my voice? If you don't see the screen, if you don't hear my voice, please type to me in the chat. And the time is almost 10 o'clock, so we will gonna start in 2 minutes. Just waiting a little bit. The clock is now 10, so we will start the viewing of the Revision Manager. Warm welcome again to today's viewing of the Revision Manager, and today's viewing is 1 hour, and we're gonna show a few steps in the Revision Manager, how it works, and how you can work with it in your project. Before we start that, I'm gonna speak a little bit of the theory behind the BIMeye and Symmetry and the Revision Manager. My name is Robert Maktisi, and I'm a building engineer and architect. I'm working here at Symmetry and the department BIMeye. I've worked with a lot of projects, big projects and small projects, and we have applied the BIMeye to the projects. And we are seeing a lot of projects seeing a lot of benefits of using the BIMeye applications. And what is BIMeye? What applications does it include? We have 6 applications including always in the BIMeye. We have the door manager, we have room manager, we have interior manager, we have the asset manager, we have the requirement, and we have this viewing of the revision manager. This 6 application is always included in your BIMeye deal. And the door application is we have a viewing, testing, and all 6 applications. So you can look at the webinars about each and every application if you want. And how does all the applications work, and how does they communicate with the model? How does they work with other consultings? I'm going to show that and demonstrate that in a few seconds. All this, to start up with BIMeye, you need a computer, of course, and you need a web browser. When you have the web browser, you just log into apps.bimeye.com, and then you will apply, you will enter the BIMeye applications. And when you are inside the website and you have logged in successfully, and I will show you in a few minutes how you do that, you can easily see the applications. You can easily see the information adding to the database. You can easily see the synchronizations from the model to the database, or from the database to the model. And all this, we call it an CDE environment, and common data environment. That is, all the information is stored in the cloud, that everybody from wherever you are, you can access the information and the parameters. And before you start up and work with BIMeye, you have to start up an work methodology inside the company. How you're going to work with your workflow, how you're going to work with your information, who is going to do what, and etc. and etc. And this is very important to do in each and every project. If you are new in a project, if the project is new starting up, if you set up this configuration from the beginning, then you will have a lot of benefits during the projects. If you change the configuration during the project, it's possible to do that, but it's not a recommendation to do that. If you're working with a certain setup and then somebody will change the setup, then the information also going to be changed. So the tips is build up and structure how you're going to work in your database, how you want to work in your model. For an example, if it's Revit or if it's Archicad or whatever design tool you are using. How does the BIMeye work in general? First of all, we have to have a model. If we have a model for an example, for a Revit model or an architect model, the architect will be adding information to the model. When we are adding information to the model, the architect are available now to synchronize certain information to the database. And this information you choose to synchronize to the database, it's up to you. You can configure the parameters you want. You can add which and every parameters from the model to the database. And I will show you how you do that confirmation. And the architect or the model owner are the only group in the project who can synchronize to the database and from the database. And I'm going to show that also because why is that only possible for the model owner? Because the model owner have the opportunity to synchronize information from the model to the database. The other consulting is working in the project will add information to the database. They are working in the cloud. When they're working in the cloud, they can add information to the database, and then the architect or the model owner can synchronize back the information if they want. In theory, how does it work? Work like this. The architect, for an example, we take doors or whatever category you're going to choose. The architect will place the door in the model and give it a name, and then choose to synchronize the door to the database. Then we have certain information from the model going to the database. So, for an example, the information is going now is the name of the door, the size of the door, and where it's located in the building, which floor, and etc. These parameters will now be available for the first consulting here. The first consulting gonna see this information, and we are also working with rules and cases in the database. So for this case, I'm gonna let all my consultants read all the information that are synchronized to the database, but they can only change the parameters they gonna work with. For an example, if I have 10 parameters totally in the project, the architect owns 4 of them, and then we have 6 other parameters we're gonna work with in the project. These 6 parameters are divided by 2 consultants. Then they have 3 parameters each to work with. They can read all the 10 parameters, but they can only change the 3 parameters that they own. In that case, we are now in a safety way working in the database. Nobody can go in and change and destroy your information in the database. So when the model owner synchronizes to the database, consulting number 1 can read all the information, can also now add information, the 3 parameters that I just told you about. And then we have the consulting number 2. He have the same rule and same rights. In this case, he will add the other 3 parameters. Now we have all 10 parameters totally in the project, in the database. And if the model owner, the architect, wants to synchronize back this information to the model, it's possible to do that. But a lot of projects don't do that. They will let the information still be in the database. And from the database, they're going to export it to an FM system or facility management system or another system if they want to. So this is how you practically work in the database with the BIMeye. So you have a model, you synchronize information to the database. In the database, you invite the consulting. The consulting can read the information, add information, and when all this is done, you can choose to synchronize back the information to the model or no. And what is the benefits with working with that? When we are working in the cloud like this, all the people is involved in the project can in an easy way access the information and the data we have available. We can in an easy way now create and report or other information that we want from the database. When we are inside the database, we can easy way see our changes. We can see our information when did the synchronizations go into the database, when, who did it, and etc. and etc. We don't have to call the model owner to do the information to get us the information. So, and what is the benefits with the reports that we have in the BIMeye in the database? We can do a really nice and clean report template added to the BIMeye, and we can use the same template and adjust the configurations around the template and use in another project. So we can use a nice and easy and clean template in different and several projects. And the templates are very easy to read. Depends how you want to build it up. In this case, we have the 3 consulting groups. The green one is the architect, the orange one was consulting number 2, and the blue part is the consulting number 3. So you see here we had the totally 10 parameters for an example. The green one is the 4 parameters is for the architect. The orange and the blue and etc. And we see here in an easy way we can control the information. Did you add information? Did you take away information? Is the information correctly? And etc. So this is an easy way to work with templates, easy way to work with sharing information and read and get information from each other. That was an overall how we work with BIMeye, and all applications almost the same structure and same work methodology. And today's viewing is about the Revision Manager, the application who tracks all the changes in a project in an easy way. We can access the changes in a project in an easy way to during our cloud. The question is, why shall we use the Revision Manager, or why is it so powerful? The first of all is a simple tool to add and to track changes in a project. The second thing is you can add the changes, you can synchronize them to the database, and all in the project can in an easy way read and see what's happening during the changes. We can from the changes do a report template or a report to a PDF. I'm going to show you in a few minutes how you do that also. It's an easy way, it's a safety way to track, and it's overall very easy to add information, read information, and share information. If you compare this to a regular changing process, if you work in a design tool like Revit, for example, you have to have a separate file, and you type in what you have done, and you will send the file to the other consultings. You don't know if it's the latest one or if you have typed in all your changes. So you can do it, but this is a more powerful and an efficient way to work. With Revision Manager, you're going to simplify your work, you're going to secure your work, and you're going to bring safety to your project. And when you do that, all the consultants or all the project members will be very glad to have that in a project. But we know today it's very important to have these three main categories in our project. When is it possible to add Revision Manager or the other applications from BIMeye? It's always, you can apply them to your project whenever you want. We always recommend to apply them in the beginning of the work in a project. When you do the startup with the work, with the project, with the model, and etc., then you will have an overall control how you're gonna work in the project. So when it's possible, during the whole process. Why choose it? I'm going to give you three reasons to use it. Number one, you have overall control and view of the project during your changes. The data you connect from the model to the database is an easy way accessed by everyone. And we call this a rope of information. We don't have to send the information around during the consulting. We are now logged into the database, and from the database we can take out our information. In theory, how does it work to use the Revision Manager? We start in the BIMeye, we start up a new case, and when we have started up the new case, we enter the design tool, for example Revit. We adding information, or we are typing in what kind of changes we have done. When we have done that, we will connect the changes to our case. For example, we'll call it PM1. When we have done that, we can now work with our changes in the database. We can work with our changes in the design tool. When we are done in that process, we can in an easy way update our sheets in the model and show where all the changes will pop up in our sheets. And when we have done that, we can in an easy way also create a report and have an overall control of the changes. And I will show you all these steps in the practically how it works in the BIMeye. This is the theory behind it. So if we, for the first time when you access apps.bimeye.com, you will come to this site. When you are here, you're going to be available to choose the projects you are involved to or invited to. In this case, I have a lot of projects, so I will choose the project I will work with today. So I will go down here and I will select it. And when I am enter the first step here in the site, I have to do a few setups before I can work with whatever app I want to apply to my project. The first of all, I have to see I have a project grid here. the project grid will connect my design tool to the database. So this is the first thing I have to do. But before I do that, I have to download the client if I don't have the client installed on my computer. So I will enter the download button here, and when I do that, I will directly come to the site that I can download the client for the version that I want to work with. So in this case, I will take Revit here for an example, and we have from 2016 to 2019. And I will choose now wherever a client I want and just hit the MSI file here, and it will probably take you like 20 to 30 seconds to install it. I have it installed already, so I don't want to do that process again. When I've installed the client, I will have to reboot the computer, and I will reboot my design tool. I will open up the Revit again. When I open up Revit, I will see that there is two new add-ons. I have the first one here is called the BIMeye. When I click on the BIMeye, I will have a lot of information that are new now. The add-in now, the first of all, I'm gonna check if I have the latest version of the BIMeye client, and I'll also just click update here and see if it's the latest here. Yeah, I have the latest client for this 2017 that I'm demonstrating with you today. The second thing I'm going to do is to copy the project grid here and connect my design tool to the database. So I will go into the sign in button over here, and I'm going to enter it. I'm going to type in my username and password that I shipped from the BIMeye team. And I will open up the project grid lock over here to connect my database to the model. So I'm gonna go back to the client here or the platform, and take the project grid here, copy the project grid, and I'm gonna just paste in here. And for the first time, I'm also have to give the model a name. In this case, I'm gonna call it Revision 2018. So when I'm done with that, I'm gonna click on log on, just have this successfully logged on, just hit OK, and then you are ready to start up with your synchronization now from the model to the database. So if I go back to the BIMeye in and see what information do I have here. The first site, I have an overall information about the project, and then I have all the applications that I'm working with today. I can see the asset manager, door manager, interior, requirement, revision, and the room manager. I can hit on each and one of them and see what kind of information do I have. I can take the revision today, and I will see this is the model name that I typed in. I can see when I did the last full synchronization, I can see when I did the last synchronization, and I can see what kind of synchronization that I did last time, and what have it's done in the project. If it's something new, updated, or if something have expired. Overall, here I have a little bit information that's good for the project. I have in the help inside, I have a feedback button also, and I have the support button. And I have the information button. This is the site I will come back to. And over here I have the application buttons. In this case, I have, when I hit it, I will have all the applications shown, and I will choose the application I want to work with. In this case, it's Revision Manager. So I will hit on Revision Manager over here, and I will enter the database and the matrix that I'm going to work with today. Now I'm inside the database. I want to go back to my model and see what information do I want to add information to. So before we do that, I'm going to show you and what kind of buttons you have now on the BIMeye add-in. You can't synchronize once and you will have all the applications synchronized together. That you want to do is, if you want to work with room applications, you have to go to the room application and sync just the room application button. If you're working with interior, you have to synchronize the interior from the interior button, and etc. and etc. So in this case, we're going to work with the revision button over here. Now when I know everything is set up, I have connected my database to the model, I know the project name is correct, and before I will start to assign changes, I have to go back, as I showed you in the PowerPoint here. I have to create a new case before I can connect them to each other. So I will go back to the BIMeye, and here I have my cases. Over here I have my changes, and over here I can create new cases. I can edit the cases that I'm just created. So I'm going to start up a new case here. So I hit the add new button over here. So I'm going to type in here what the name of it. Add new case. So I'm going to type in here. I'm going to call it BIMeye PM123. To easy can track it and see what's happening inside it. I'm going to click on submit here, and directly I will see the new case that I just created. I'm going to hit it once and see what kind of information that I have now to start up with. I have general information. I can attach files, pictures, and comments to my case that I just start up. Over here I have a case description, and I can easy way now enter information here. I will type in here, I'm going to type in the BIMeye changes PM1. I won't have it that name, so I'll hit the save over here, and I have my case description over here, and I can see here the status of it. It's active, so I'm gonna hit submit over there, and I'm gonna cancel it. And now I have created my case over here. Now I can go enter the design tool and starting to assign my changes. I'm going to go to Revit now, and under the revision button I have several options to choose through. I can either just hit the sign change, I can add one 3D cloud or several 3D clouds. I can add a cloud that is L-shaped. I can, when I have assigned the change, I can in an easy way just edit the change also. And I can, if I don't know where my changes are and where they belong to, I can easy way just show them. And I can update my parameters to the database in an easy way. And when I've done with all of that, I can also update my sheets, that I can see what kind of changes that I did and where are all the changes. So I'm going to show you all this in a few minutes here. So we're going to start up with the first sign here. We're going to click on the revision button. I'm going to go to assign change, and Revit, the application is gonna, or the client, gonna tell me what you want to change or assign a change to. So I'm gonna choose the door in this room here. I'm gonna hit it first. I'm gonna go back to BIMeye. I'm gonna hit the sign change button. And when I hit the sign button, I will have my if you remember, I start up the case. The case number was BIMeye PM123, and the description of the case was BIMeye change PM1. So I'm going to choose that now and add information, all the changes that I did in the project to this PM now. So I'm choose it over here, and I can choose my room that the door belongs to, that the information also come to that. Then I have where the changes are and which room number and which room description that it have. And over here I can now enter what kind of change did I do with the door. So for this example, I'm going to type in move 100 millimeter millimeter. And when I'm done with that information, I have my change description and the revision is. And now I'm going to hit OK. And I'm done. I will click OK over here. And if I now click on escape or on cancel over here, I don't see the changes in the model here. So I can go back now to my revision button, and I can show my changes. And I want to choose the BIMeye PM 1 through 3 here and show what I'm going to highlight the door I have just add a comment to. And the information that I add now in the model, I have to synchronize it to the BIMeye. It will do it automatically. And if I go to the BIMeye now, if I see here, under changes, under case, I have it here. And I'm going to hit the change button on my left here. And if I now seeing here, I have the BIMeye PM123. The change description is moved 100 millimeters, and I did it today. So I can now, in easy way, add the information to the model, have it in the database immediately. And I can open the information here and see what is it, what kind of information do I have. And if I want to add the information, I can do it in an easy way. I can, in an easy way now, take this information from the database and take it back to the model if I want. So, for an example, who have done the changes in the model? In this case, we have no value. That means nobody have entered something. So I'm going to choose a name here, a person. I'm going to take my own name here, Robert, and I'm going to hit submit here. And we have, I am now responsible for the change here. Submit, and I'm going to close this down. And you will see here, it's issued by me. If I go back to the model now, and if I click here, and I'm gonna want to show my changes, for an example, I have the door there. I want to edit the information. I just entered. see. Yeah, I'm gonna edit changes. I'm gonna immediately see now the changes that I've done in the database is now in the model also. See that. And when I've done this, I can now do the other applications. I want to insert now a 3D cloud. When I hit the 3D cloud, I want now to take this door for an example. I want to hit the 3D cloud over there, and I can want to bring more clouds. I want to now use the same case here. I want to pick a room that it belongs to, so I can get my information over there. And now I want to assign this to Benny over here, and the description is new door. And I will hit OK here. Now hit OK over there, and I will update my parameters. And when I've done that, I will go back to the BIMeye, and I will refresh my site over here, and I will see the information immediately come to the database. It issues by menu, case name, case description. I had new door added. If I go back to the model, I can do in the same way. I can add an L-shaped formed 3D cloud. Just hit it. I can change the size of it and by pulling out the arrows. Choose the same here, and I will assign this to Frida, and I will pick a room. In this case, it's several rooms, and I will pick one of them, and I will type in take away the door. Now hit the OK. When I've done that, I'm gonna update my parameters in a few seconds here, just to secure that all the information is correct in the database. So I'll go back to my database. I will refresh my site over here, and I will see the changes immediately come to the database. Now, if I go back now, I want to show my changes, connect it to my PM, and see if I go a little bit closer, they are blue. These changes are connected to my BIMeye PM 1, 2, 3. So, in an easy way, you can now control your changes. You can create the several cases at the same time. If you're working with the different types of changes, if from this example it's changes around doors, you can have a revision set up for just only for the walls or for the stairs, and etc. and etc. It's up to you how you want to work in the project and what is the easiest way for you to work and add information and take care of the information. When I've done this, this is the 3D cloud that I worked with in the revision, the BIMeye Revision clouds. I can also choose to work with the Revit own 3D revision cloud. If I go to the annotate button, I have the revision cloud over here. I can easily just enter it, and I can assign a change to, say, this door over here. I can hit it, and I will click on OK. When I've done that, if I hit it once, it automatically we're gonna change the 3D cloud, the revision from Revit, gonna choose the sequence 13 here, for an example, and the latest and the active PM case that I just created in BIMeye. I can choose wherever PM that I want to assign this change to. And now I want to connect this cloud, this revision, to the BIMeye. How do I do that? I enter it once, I choose the revision here, I want it to go to PM, BIMeye PM 123, and I will add a comment to it here. I'm gonna hit test 1, 2, 3 here. I'm gonna hit OK over here. I'm gonna assign this also. That one, I have the test 1, 2, 3 here. I want to pick a room even to this one. I have the information, and I hit OK there. And I'm hitting OK all the time. Go back to BIMeye, go to revision, and I update my parameters. Click OK. Go to BIMeye, I refresh the site. And here you have the test 1, 2, 3 that I just added. This is the revision from Revit that I connected to my BIMeye now database. It's very easy, it's very safety, and it's very easy to access the information from the database. And inside Revit, I can also now update my sheets here. If I want to update my sheets in my stamp, I can either let Revit go through all my sheets in the project and add the information that I just changed, the PM1, or I can select where my sheets are. In this case, I have around 450 sheets, so it's going to take you a little bit time to go through all of them. If you want, you can do an easy way. Just go into the plan and choose the sheets you want to select. So and they're going to update in an easy way. And now I want to create a report from the BIMeye and send it to my consulting or whatever I want to do with it. So if I go back to BIMeye, I can choose my changes. For an example, I can just hit wherever I want here. I go up here to create my report. I enter my, I'm gonna say, tell me this is 3 export posts that I have. This is the 3 posts, and I'm gonna hit OK. And here I can just type in the information that I'm just want to have in my report, and I am going to type in here, and I'm going to hit the save button, and I will immediately just create a report here. And when I open it up over here, I'm just going to download it, and when I open it up, I have a Word file that I just create sheets, what kind of information that I just configured to my report template, and what the changes are. And from Word, I can easy way just go in and save it as a PDF file. And when I save it as a PDF file, I have it over here, and I can from this platform now take it to BIMeye, or I can take it to, for example, Bluebeam, and do my control. If I now go back to my cases, I have 2 cases here, and a lot of people also ask me what are the columns and how do we work with the columns. Over here you have a button. The button here will control you and allow you to create your own columns. You can, an easy way, just and with a drag and drop create your own personal view list. You can create the view list here, you can just add a new one, you can just copy a view list that is also exists. You can also take a list away an easy way. And when I drag this column over here, the case name, we have the case name now in the beginning. Now I have it in row number 3, and when I hit the save button, you're gonna see this go immediately to the place that I just choose it. And how are we going to work with this kind of information over here? And we can also we just created a report to a Word file. We can export our information from the database to an Excel file if we want to do that also. So when I just hit here, what kind of information or the changes that I want to track, I can an easy way just export it to an Excel file if I want to. And when I export it to an Excel file, I can work with it in a different way. Example over here. So you see how easy it is to just export and use the information from BIMeye. The report template, you can easy way here add new templates. You can change the templates that you have. You can create parameter groups very easy in our admin side here. And the parameters that I told you before, and when you start up a new case or a new project, this is the startup configurations you have to do. You have to see where are the information added today, and where do you want the information to go? Is it from the model to the database, or is it from the database to the model? You will do this setup once, and when it's done, you ain't gonna need to change it. This was that all I have to want to show you today in today's viewing. It's a lot of new things. It's a lot of good things in the Revision Manager. And when we are using it, if you are using it in a project, during a new project or an existing project, you can always call me, call my colleagues, and for information or help. Thank you all for your time that you have listened to me today and this viewing of the Revision Manager. And if you want to have more information about the Revision Manager or the other applications that we have, please contact Tony Iska. This is his contact. You have a number, you have his email there. Thank you, and I hope you see you again in the near future.